SAG-AFTRA affirmed its support for diversity, equity, and inclusion on Monday after several major studios walked back their commitments in the face of threats from the Trump administration. The National Board of the Actors Union adopted a resolution stating that DEI is a moral imperative and is also crucial to the creative and economic vitality of our industry.
No, it's not.
In recent weeks, Disney scrapped its Reimagine Tomorrow initiative, which highlighted stories from underrepresented groups, while Warner Brothers, Discovery, Amazon, and Paramount have taken similar steps. The move comes as the Trump administration seeks to stamp out DEI programs in both federal government and the private sector. Among the first initiatives of the Federal Communications Commission Chair Brendan Carr was an investigation into DEI at NBC Universal and Comcast. In its statement, the SAG-AFTRA noted its support for diversity stretches back to 1963, when its predecessor union, the Screen Actors Guild, got non-discrimination language in its contracts. That provision, known as American Scene Clause, obligated producers to make every effort to cast performers belonging to all groups in all types of roles.
So where does that? I mean, first of all, this is what we were saying. I don't think that DEI is going to change in Hollywood. I think while the federal government backs away, I think they're just moving full steam ahead. And that's
but the question is, how much money can they keep losing? If they're going to play this game, how much money can they keep losing?
Well, they'll obfuscate, right? They'll try the same thing, but they'll try to be sneaky about it. Now, how much will that work? Like, look at Daredevil 2. Foggy's not there, but McDuffie, his partner, who's a lovely black, powerful woman, is there. Now, maybe she'll get really good writing, but we all still see the switch that was made. So, yeah, people are smart to that now.
She hasn't gotten good writing yet.
I know she hasn't.
I find it interesting that they blame the Trump administration versus the box office or ratings.
Yes,
that Americans are just tired of DEI and have turned away from it. But no, you have to blame the Trump administration, who really can't legislate DEI out of the private sector.
But see, if they admitted that, then they'd have to admit that, we've been wrong this entire time about the direction that we're moving in. So, of course, they're going to try to blame Trump. So, we got to change it because of Trump.
Sources. They've never actually taken blame for anything. They'll blame the toxic male audience. They'll blame the toxic white male audience. They'll just blame toxic audiences. They'll blame toxic Disney fans, toxic Star Wars fans,
it's always
toxic
the
Marvel fans, toxic DC fans. They have never taken responsibility for anything. So yeah, absolutely, they're going to use this opportunity to say, "Hey, we're going to stick with DEI," and just blame Trump for it.
But see, I get the ideology, right? I get that they're committed to their cult, right? I totally get that. Practically, though, they can't afford to keep doing. They can't afford it. They can't afford to keep doing this. Like, so what is the end game here? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
They really think that this is the right way to go.
They really think it's
but the right way to go doesn't mean you're
for the long haul. They think that society and culture needs to change around them, not them conforming to what everyday Americans.
And they go out of business then.
Yes. They're going to have to.
But we just talked about the box office. We just talked about the people ain't going to theaters no more. People aren't watching movies anymore because of the gunk that we see coming out of Hollywood. So yeah, that's the end goal. They basically are going to end up running Hollywood all the way into the ground. And then we're going to start saying, oh, well, I'm going to watch some anime. I'll watch some more YouTube, some TikTok. I'll do everything else, but watch a Hollywood movie. And slowly but surely somebody will, figure this thing out and go back and start making good movies again. And then, the world will start the healing.
The thing about something like anime, though, and anybody who's a fan sees that it has an authenticity to it. The creators aren't bound by any of those constraints. And when you think about DEI, which is something I've never understood about this idea, it's not like you have the exact same number of ethnicities in the United States that are all competing for the same job. There are many. The black population of America is what, 13%,
or interest in the same stuff.
And that's the thing. Yeah. Of those 13%, how many want to get into Hollywood? Mm-hmm. And of those people, how many actually make it? Mm-hmm. So the idea of look, when they made the Equalizer movies with Denzel Washington, care that the Equalizer on TV was a white dude and that Denzel race swapped that white guy, Edward Woodward? The answer to that question, no.
But I
If
cared
you
when
watch-
Queen Latifah got made the Equalizer on TV instead of Denzel.
Well, but that was a little look when Anton Fuqua
Yeah.
did those Equalizer movies. The first time Denzel looks at his watch, you're in. You're in. You never once ever, if something is good, nobody cares what the colors of the protagonists are. We just want storytelling that's great, that has great actors doing great performances. And that this weird idea of DEI never worked because it skewed everything and made it inauthentic.
Right.
That's
You understand that, Rob. You
find it so
understand
rich.
that. We understand that. Now explain that to Hollywood. They don't seem to
I
understand
find it so
it.
rich coming from Hollywood, though, right? Because for decades, they're the ones who cast black people as nothing but gangbangers or slaves or buffoons, right? For how many decades?
Gangbanging slaves who are buffoons.
All of a sudden, they want to expand their mind and they want to be, inclusive. It's so phony and fake, like Hollywood, obviously.
Like Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous because they're the ones who created the problem.
Right.
Yeah. By the way, Queen Latifah, when you saw Set It Off, you love that movie.
Well,
Well written.
That's organic.
And directed by a black director.
Love Queen Latifah and Living Single and all that. I just didn't want to see her as the Equalizer. That's all.
No, I've always been a big Queen Latifah fan. It's been a great disappointment in my life. We don't play for the same team because I would have liked to,
I'll just say this.
I like
she
Queen
likes her
Latifah
women, Rob.
movies.
I know, but I love her. I love her, man.
Yeah.
I think
last what is it? Last
would've taken
Holiday
Rob
and Beauty Shop are some of my favorite Queen Latifah.
I think the company that has proven itself to be the worst at organic casting is Disney.
Yes.
They're absolutely the worst. They're so bad because it never feels organic. It always feels shoehorned. I don't know what's going to happen with so-called Black Snape. I don't know what's going on with that.
Oh my God.
Who knows? That actor, I'm like, I don't know. Like, what are they going for? Who knows?
Papa Asiatu.
He's a good actor,
Asiatu.
but it's just
He better be better than Alan Rickman. That's all.
It won't matter.
Oh,
if
that's
he's
not
better
gonna
than
happen.
Alan.
It doesn't matter.
It won't
He shouldn't
even
be
matter
picked.
if he is, man. He doesn't belong in that
matter.
role.
No, he
Right.
shouldn't be picked.
When the movie is organic and it seems like it just makes sense with the story, it's rather than shoehorning or race swapping just a race swap. There's a movie coming out I can't wait to see, a horror film in April, Sinners by Ryan Coogler. Michael B. Jordan plays two characters, twin brothers. And also I don't know anything about the story. All I know is visually it looks amazing, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
But
so
that's-
when we talk about diversity, this is the
different.
kind of shit we're talking about. That kind of
Right.
stuff where you're taking good original stories, you're creating
Yes.
good, like meaty material for black people to work with, right? And by the way, this whole DI thing is not just about black people. We're talking about
Yeah, of
everybody
course.
here. Everybody.
Yeah, Asians too,
Women,
right, Alan?
Asians,
Yeah.
gays,
Like the
midgets,
Ring when they recast it
everybody.
as white. Yeah.
We're talking about everybody. But my point is, it's like when you write roles that are good for people, right? Then diversity is easy.
I just want to show this.
It's easy and it's natural.
Wait.
I think
It's
that's been
major
stressing a
problem.
lot of people.
I just wanted to confirm what someone said in the chat. Intense, dark chocolate.
Oh,
That's right.
see, guys?
That's
Robert
very
likes
diverse
dark chocolate.
chocolates. There you
Yeah.
Too bad I'm trying to watch my
but
sugar.
like if you look at it, what do people have problem when it comes to this DEI stuff? It's the inauthentic, like Rob is saying, like the race swaps. All right. You don't have to do that. You can create original characters. You can create new roles. You can write original material rather than trying to say, okay, we're going to go back and race swap all of these various characters because we suddenly have this strong need for representation. We got to represent everything, even though we used to never do that. But now we want to do it. And so let's just shoehorn in, random people of different races, ethnicities, genders, and all. And it's like, okay, this is fake. That's not what people are asking for. I said this when The Little Mermaid came out. Little Mermaid's a Danish fairy tale, but they put a black woman in that. Why? You could have went and you could have adapted a African mermaid story.
First
You could
Danish
have
people were
found
black. Everyone knows that.
So the story of
my
Viking.
point, my point is you could have did something unique, Disney. You could have said, hey, we got the Little Mermaid, but this time we're going to the waters of Africa, off the West Africa. We're going to talk about the mermaid stories that exist there. That's unique. Instead of taking Ariel and flipping her around into a black girl, it's like that doesn't make any sense.
No, but Derek, it's a fictional character. It shouldn't matter.
Very
No, but
exciting.
see, but that's my
Fictional
problem.
character.
What about if you're talking about like diversity, you're talking about culture as well, all right? What about Danish culture resonates with black people? Because it's a black, nothing, obviously, right? Nothing. So give us something authentic from the black community if that's what you care about so badly. But what they really care about is just checking that box. That's all they care about. They can check a box and they can feel good about themselves at the end when they lay their head on their pillow at night. But at the end of the day, it's still fake.
Yeah.
But speaking, how about the fact how many stories are in Africa? You know, the problem is they're taking stories that are from these various places, and then why not go? You have thousands of years of African mythology from all of the rich different countries and all of the different societies that have existed. I mean, remember, we all originated in Africa. It's the oldest place to find stories. And there's amazing stories that come out of the African diaspora. Let's tell those tales. That's what DEI should really be all about. Let's tell stories we've never even heard before.
Yeah, Hollywood doesn't see the value in those stories. They don't see value in that.
There you go. That's it right there.
That's what
because they haven't been told.
They don't see value in that. They're perfectly content with saying, "Oh, you want a black princess? Let's not make a live action Tiana movie, an original black princess. Let's not do that. Let's instead take Ariel and make her black. Here you go. Here's your black princess." They don't see any value in actual original black characters.
That's it right there. There's no validity in original black characters. That's the problem.
But see, look at what Black Panther taught everybody. Go back to Black Panther and look at the amazing output from the black community for that movie. All right, because it felt like something that was authentic to blackness or black culture or whatever. It went right back to Africa. Hey, we're gonna tell the story about T'Challa and Wakanda, and we're gonna bring in a side of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that you've never thought of. And it's like, oh, it takes place in Africa. Look how well that movie did. You had black people coming up in dashikis, going to the movies, taking their kids 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Hey, man, we're gonna make a whole holiday out of this thing. Why? Because it felt real. It felt authentic, even though it is, you know, Black Panther was created by a couple of white dudes. But nevertheless, it felt authentic to us. It's something that black people said, all right, cool, I can rock with this. That's the problem. They're just race swapping. And black people aren't going to get anything out of a black Snape. I don't know what they think we're going to get out of a black Snape. Like, he ain't black. All right.
Get some great memes.
Black Panther did well. That was an original black character. They want to be lazy, you know, and give you a race swapped character in order to generate those black dollars. Right. They want the black dollar without actually
having black jobs. Don't forget black jobs.
Yeah, don't forget black jobs.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So speaking as someone who is neither white nor black, I have known all my life, this is the hypocrisy of diversity. But when you say the word diversity, it means black. It doesn't mean Asian, and it barely means Latinx.
You're white adjacent, according to the DEI.
Is that how you say it, Latinx?
Yeah,
Wait,
Alan,
wow.
How dare you bring up that term in my presence?
I have some friends that are Latinx.
I can be offended.
Alan, you were building up to a point.
I know, yeah, but my point is it's highly hypocritical. And this whole idea of diversity is
don't forget the gays, Alan. Does apply to the gays as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Diversity means less white people, more black people.
Yeah, exactly. And
in most,
you know, and this is
statements.
It has been this way since the very beginning. Yes, you can mention the one or two, but what I appreciate about at least the Asian community is that when we make movies, it's fairly universal. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Even Shang-Chi, even it had Asian elements to it. It was still a fairly universal story. You know, I love the fact that we're just not hung up on race like everyone else is.
Here's a weird question I have though. So they're doing all this stuff, right? DEI. They're trying to be inclusive. They're trying to, you know, they're trying to curate this culture, right? Why aren't the people that they're making these movies for supporting them? How come they're not going to watch these movies, right? Because they're making all this shit for them. So how come they're not supporting? How come those people aren't supporting those movies or those?
Yeah, the gay community didn't come out for Strange World. The gay community
they didn't come out for bros.
They didn't come out for bros.
They didn't come out. I was about to say they didn't come out for bros. How many black people went to see Captain America: Brave New World, even though they stuck it right in the middle of Black History?
Women didn't watch the Marvels.
Women didn't watch the Marvels.
Women didn't watch the Barbie. Yeah.
But they watched Barbie because one was authentic and one wasn't.
Yeah. So where's this audience, right? for these movies that they're making?
The Asian community came out for Shang-Chi because it was authentic to our culture.